Well, Merry Christmas, my friends. We are so glad you could be with us here today for an all-new Kingdom Report Live. You know, we love rewarding you for watching or listening to this show. All you have to do to win your very own Kingdom Report mug, leave the phrase that pays underneath this video right after the live show. Head on over to the Kingdom Report on YouTube and leave the comment, Christmas Wishes. Christmas Wishes is the phrase that pays this week. You have between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time in which to enter. If you are the winner, we will get that mug shipped your direction, all by entering Christmas Wishes in the comment section underneath this video after the live broadcast. And on today's show, we are going to be bringing to you all the details about the Walt Disney World Flower and Garden Festival for 2024. Disney Parks legend Dick Nunis has sadly passed away. Disney Company Board Showdown is underway as things are getting heated with a face from the past. And the newest Disney Springs restaurant has now opened, plus our Disney Parks Christmas wish list. All of that, so much more. Holly Jolly Cheer is here, and I am Wade Heath alongside my friends Garrett Hassel and Taylor Kowalczyk for this Christmas edition of Kingdom Report Live. You stick around, the show begins straight ahead.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
A beautiful mid-70s day out there at the Disneyland Resort in Anaheim as we take that live look outside a week before Christmas weekend. Here we are, just beyond the tree line there, the Esplanade of Disneyland Resorts. And now, if you will, the Hojo Anaheim.com Mattercam panning their rooftops for Santa, only to stop on the sidewalk in front of the hotel. That's how you know it's live. Hey, everybody. So glad we could be with you once again for another edition of Kingdom Report Live. I'm Wade, here with you one more time. The Warner Brothers Studios Media District here in Burbank, California, right around the corner from the Walt Disney Studios, just up the road from the Disneyland Resort. And Merry Christmas to you. Your Disney family is right here as we bring you yet another installment of all the Disney Parks news, all the discussion you could possibly want in this holiday-themed edition of the show. Show note for you, next week we will not be live. However, we have something special in store for you, a marathon of Disney trivia. 2.5 hours of Disney trivia segments back to back to back. You love them. We got them for you. Non-stop Disney trivia for you next week here in this time slot. Something to look forward to. And you can count up how many times our own Garrett Hassel loses the trivia throughout those 2.5 hours. It will be a merry time indeed. So grateful to have you with us, whether you are watching live, Facebook Live, YouTube, or whether you're watching after the fact, perhaps you're listening to us via podcast, we want to thank you for that. We know that the majority of you watch on demand after the fact. However, those of you that join us live, it means so much. Happy holidays to you. And here in place of Tyler and Katrina this week, who are away on Christmas holiday, it is a friend of the show and former Disney cast member, current artiste, Taylor Kowalczyk.
Hello.
There she is.
There I am. Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody. I'm so happy to be here.
You brought your antlers.
I did. You know, I brought them, said it, I'm going to be festive today, you know, and it was actually a good day. Coming into the studio, it looks beautiful. So
the season spirit is here.
it is.
That's right. Michael Eisner, we know, loves Christmas.
Hello.
Michael, it's good to have you with us. It's always a treat when he gets to stop by for the season as well. And the Disney family wouldn't be complete without the golden goose himself, our Disney World reporter, Garrett Hassel. Oh, I don't know about that. Hi, Garrett.
Aloha, everyone. Melikaliki Maka. Happy holidays. You know, I'm rocking the Disney Hawaiian, so, you know, got to give, you know, my shout out to, you know, all the islanders out there, you know, the spirit of aloha. You know, Alani's out there. So Disney around the world, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, holding it down, representing.
Holding it down.
Holding down the fort.
Yeah.
Thanks for thinking of the Pacific Islanders. Aloha.
Well, you know, Ariel and her family, they've gone to Alani a few times, and I just get souvenirs. So one day I'll make it out there. But yeah. But no, I love Hawaii.
Yeah.
I usually go there during the holidays, but I'm here today, and that's just as good.
It's great.
Without getting a tan.
Nice of them to think of you and send those presents after the fact.
Yes, indeed.
Right. Well, we have a heck of a show for you. Lots to talk about. Lots of Disney topics to get to. But before we do that, you know it. I know it. We are all about that show toast life. We can't start a new show without toasting it, so we are going to grab our mugs. We invite you to do the same. Grab a cup of something good. Maybe it's cocoa this time of year. Fill that mug up. Fill that cup up. Join us in a show toast today. Our own Taylor is toasting something.
Thank you.
What is it in that you are deciding to toast? What is it?
I am toasting the holidays, that it is that magical time of the year.
Well, of course.
I am so excited because I'm going to Disneyland on Monday
Hey-o.
to see the toy soldiers, because that is
yeah.
my favorite thing. My grandma used to do it, go and see them all the time. So I'm toasting to that. So Merry Christmas and Happy Toy Soldier Day.
To the toy soldiers.
To the soldiers that are toys.
That's right. And I'm going to join you in a double toast, if I may.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is this in the budget?
Hold on to your boots, Garrett,
Uh-oh.
Okay.
because we are about to toast a young man who yesterday graduated with a master's degree. Our own Garrett Hassel. Congratulations to
Congrats.
Thank you. I am now I am no longer Garrett the Golden Goose. I am now Master Golden Goose. We'll change that hopefully maybe 2024. We'll see how the budget works out and all that. But no, thank you very much. 2-year journey done. Now I can get a job. I think that's what it's called. Make money. Something to support my Disney addiction. So yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Cheers.
Congrats.
And cheers to you. Absolutely. Yes. Congratulations. Huge milestone moment, no doubt. We're very proud of you. And way to be one of those weird people who graduates in the middle of December.
Winter, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great time to apply for jobs. Let me tell you that. I have expressed interest in the CEO-ship. I don't think the email got sent through.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait and see.
We'll
There's
wait
time.
and see. Yeah. So we'll talk to Tyler and see if he's got room on the maybe the board for you. We'll see. We'll keep you busy, I guess. But yes, congratulations once again. And we have lots of stories to touch on from this past week. A lot that are much more Disney company oriented. Let's catch you up. The Disney News Review.
Disney News Review time. Taking a look at some of the biggest stories from across the Walt Disney Company in the past week. The New York Times reporting the activist investor Nelson Peltz nominated himself and a former Disney executive to the board of the Disney Company on Thursday, continuing his battle with the entertainment giant over what he sees as a languishing stock price and the mishandling of its leadership succession plan. This is Mr. Peltz's second proxy battle with Disney in 2 years. Last year, he fought to get on the board, saying he would cut costs, revamp Disney's streaming business, and clean up the succession planning. Mr. Peltz withdrew his demands in February when Disney put in place a restructuring plan and made billions of dollars worth of cost cuts. Mr. Peltz's investment firm, Train Partners, has been working on the fight with Ike Perlmutter, the former chairman of Marvel and one of Disney's largest independent shareholders. In addition to himself, Mr. Peltz also nominated Jay Rizzullo, who spent 3 decades at Disney, including as chief financial officer. Disney said the nominations of Mr. Peltz and Mr. Rizzullo would be reviewed by a committee, which would make a recommendation on their proposed candidacy to the board. Quote, Disney has an experienced, diverse, and highly qualified board that is focused on the long-term performance of the company, strategic growth initiatives, including the ongoing transformation of its businesses, the succession planning process, and increasing shareholder value, the company said in a statement. WRAL reports Dick Nunis, who helped expand the Walt Disney Company's in-person entertainment ambitions from a single theme park in California to locations around the world during a 4-decade career with the entertainment giant, has died. He was 91. Disney said in a statement Wednesday that Nunes died in Orlando, Florida, surrounded by his family. It gave no cause of death. Nunes began his career at Disney in 1955, training future employees of the soon-to-open Disneyland in Anaheim, California, alongside Walt Disney himself, who was the father-in-law of Nunes' college friend Ron Miller, an eventual company CEO. By the time Nunes retired in 1999, after 44 years at the company, he was chair of Walt Disney Attractions, overseeing a theme park empire that spanned around the world from Florida to France to Japan. Quote, what started as a summer job training future Disneyland employees would ultimately become a storied 44-year career at Disney, Disney CEO Bob Iger said in a statement. Dick took the values and philosophies he learned directly from Walt and incorporated them into everything he did at Disney. WDW Magic reports Disney has announced the opening date for the 2024 Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival. The 2024 festival will begin on February 28th, with the ending date still to be announced. The 2024 Epcot International Festival of the Arts takes place January 12th through February 19th. ClickOrlando.com reports Summer House on the Lake has now brought its essence of perpetual summer to Disney Springs at the Walt Disney World Resort. The latest creation by Let Us Entertain You, the restaurant boasts a California-inspired menu and introduces the brand's inaugural Cookie Bar. Making its 4th location, the Disney Spring location joins the ranks of establishments in Chicago, Maryland, and Las Vegas, along with airport venues nationwide. Quote, we are thrilled to infuse locally sourced ingredients and inspiration into the menu at Summer House on the Lake. Summer House on the Lake chef Ben Goodnick said, adding, while the Summer House menu is rooted in the simplicity and variety of Southern California, our goal for this location is to incorporate the fresh, bold flavors of Florida's endless summer too, like Key West shrimp, grouper from the Gulf of Mexico, citrus, and other local produce, close quote. Seasonal specials include Wagyu beef, main course salads, and Caribbean-inspired flavors. Other food highlights include artesian pizzas, caramelized Brussels sprouts, and ahi tuna tostadas, while handheld options like the turkey stack sandwich and crispy Baja fish tacos cater to lunch and dinner preferences.
Certainly with the loss of Disney legend Dick Nunis this week has left the Walt Disney Company reeling a bit. He was so iconic in nature when it came to being one of those Walt people, as he was often referred to, an individual who has done so much for the Walt Disney Company, specifically when it comes to our beloved Disney parks, which is really what our show is all about. Garrett, your thoughts about the loss of Disney legend Dick Nunis and what he meant to the Walt Disney Company overall?
So it's really sad because, you know, he's a Disney legend. And for those that don't know, it's one of the highest awards that you can get from the Walt Disney Company. This is not just like, you know, the blue name tag that you get, you know, in the park. This is, you know, over everything. And this can go for a number of things. But Dick, he transformed Disney, and he was one of the people that you didn't see in the spotlight. He worked backstage behind the scenes and helped orchestrate everything. He's one of the few people who actually got to work alongside Walt and got to, you know, learn from the master, so to speak. He even published a book called Walt's Apprentice. He, in a way, was Walt's apprentice. He was there, would walk with Walt, and they would talk about, you know, how the park should be. And even though he may not have designed rides or been an Imagineer, he was so important with creating the, help building the culture, expanding the parks into Disney World, Tokyo, and beyond. And it really is, it's sad that he's gone, but he did so much for it. And all I can say is thank you, Dick, for all you did, because you truly transformed everything. It's the things that we don't see that honestly make Disney more magical, because he worked with Walt to, really put the cast member at the forefront. He was the one that really helped expand Frontierland at Disneyland all those years ago, because, Dick said, we need to take care of these people. We need to take care of the guests. And, he even coined the term, the magic mirror of your smile, where when you smile, there's a magic mirror where the person receiving that smile smiles back. And that is, if that doesn't sound like a cast member phrase, I don't know what does, because, the cast member is the first interaction the guest has. From the moment you walk in and hand your ticket, the cast member's there, and Dick really influenced that. So I really appreciate all he did, and it's sad that he's gone, but he is truly deserving of the title of Disney legend, if not the legend, alongside Walt. And if you want to see him, he's got a window at Disneyland. One of the highest awards I think you can get, honestly. If you can get a window at Disneyland, you've made it.
You're a real someone.
You are.
Yeah. And fun fact, he was the one that came up with the idea for the wave generator at Seven Seas Lagoon out at Walt Disney World. Granted, this did not last long because it caused a few issues, but he is credited with that. So Dick was an amazing person to just the foundation of Disney, and one of the lucky few to work alongside Walt and learn like how magic's made. So thank you so much, Dick, for all your inspiration. And he's also in the Imagineering story. He talks about what it was like building these parks and working for them, and it's just amazing. These people that they just do this job, and it affects millions upon millions of people. So like reading about his history and learning about it, it's fascinating. You don't really see how much they've done until they're gone. That's the sad truth of it. But Dick, may you rest in peace, and thank you for all you did for us as guests and for the Walt Disney Company as a whole.
They brought that wave machine back at Typhoon Lagoon, though, so don't you worry.
Yes,
it lives on.
Yes,
It's there.
And when he found out about that, I'm sure he was smiling ear to ear. He was like, yes, I finally got to surf.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's got it. Nunes once said in an interview, Disney is successful because we are dealing with people. And the words quality and pride, that is really what it's all about. As long as we design, build, engineer, maintain, and market with quality, that's going to give our people great pride. And I've always said that. And I've always believed it strongly, that if you don't have the quality, then you can't have the pride. And if you ever lose pride, you certainly will never have quality. And that's what we should build on for the future, close quote. Taylor, every year we lose another Walt Disney original, as in someone who worked at Walt's right hand, as we get further away from Walt's people, as they are often referred to. What do you think that means for the future of the company, especially with a quote like that, that he provided as something really, I think he used as like a baseline, a foundation for so much of what he did for Disney parks in particular over the course of decades.
Yeah, it's sad, there's so many great ones that we've lost throughout the years, and I know we still have a few that are left, which God bless, stay alive as long as possible.
Exactly.
But they were innovators, and they definitely have set the work, set stones for how Disney is. And I think that because we are losing a lot of them, a lot of the dreaming and all of the inspiration is kind of slowly going away. But luckily, I think there are enough people like us, people that are fans, people that are huge Disney people, that will continue to keep the dream alive. And even if we don't work for the company, I think continuing to go to the parks, expressing how the parks are doing, how we feel about them, I think that's the only way that we can keep things alive and just keep innovating the actual dream that Disney once had. So I think that it's up to us to keep it going. Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, with the loss of we'll call him a giant, a giant of the Walt era. With the loss of somebody like him, it's a reminder that not only is the organization one without Walt people more and more, it's also an organization without a namesake anymore. There are no Disneys involved in the running of the company anymore. And I think that there was always that safety net of, well, at least we have a Disney on the board. At least we have a Disney as part of the organization. And certainly with the loss of Roy Disney Jr. And his passing, that was it. Now there are no Disneys involved in the running of the company anymore. And it's really unfortunate to see because there is no safety net. There is no Disney namesake that could rally the shareholders and say, hey, something's not being done right here, or we need to do something differently here. Kind of like what happened with Michael Eisner's ouster and Roy Disney sort of leading the charge back in the 80s to bring in Eisner from the previous CEO. And then he did the same thing to remove Eisner when things started getting real bad and Eisner wasn't cut for it anymore. It is a fascinating Shakespearean style story that Disney has. But you think about these gatekeepers, these giants of the Walt era, like a Card Walker and individuals that like a Bob Gurr, who thankfully is still alive.
Thank God.
Right.
Yeah.
There are so few of them anymore that we need to absorb all we can from these individuals.
And I think it's great because Bob Gurr, he still is out there.
So
he's
active.
at Comic-Con all the time. I just saw him last weekend, and I just love every time I see him. He's just the cutest little thing. I just want to go up and hug him and just talk to him, pick his brain. And I think that's like the one way that we can keep things alive is that we still have these people that are, that were Disney's, right-hand men, that we can learn things from them still. So I think like if there's ever a chance, like if Bob Gurr is somewhere or anyone else, go talk to them. Go and just talk to him. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that one, Taylor. Even though Walt has passed and, he only really shared his wisdom with a select few number of people, those people luckily took on the role of a mentor and took apprentices or, took, students under them so that way they could share like the wisdom and the philosophy of Disney, like the Tony Baxters that we have out there that, create these amazing rides or, even, someone like Bob Iger, even though he was well in past that, he could go to these people and hear what it was like to work alongside Walt. And so even though they never got to meet Walt themselves, the wisdom is passed on. But if there's this constant turnover and getting rid of, Imagineers that have been there 20 years or these leadership positions that are just gone, then the past wisdom is gone. And then it's just sort of like, okay, it's Walt Disney in name, but not actually in spirit.
Yeah.
So it's important, like you said, to reach out to these people, keep them going and have them share what they learned, whether the goods and the bads, even though times are changing, like the ability to tell stories, connect with people, and generate a sense of culture is almost more important than building an amazing ride. Because,
Absolutely.
Totally rides break down, but the people that are interacting, that lasts forever. And so I hope that like we keep those people in mind. Like Joe Brody, someone needs to talk to that dude. They don't need to copy his earring, but he has that sort of Walt energy, even though he was never around for Walt. And you can it's these artisans, these true, people that are these creatives that we need to keep in mind. But yeah, Dick, he was a legend, literally a Disney legend. And Bob Gurr, keep that dude around. He created the Matterhorn, man.
Yep. The dune buggy. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He did a lot. He didn't even know trigonometry too. He just was like, I had to teach myself math to do this.
It's like anything with wheels, like it was usually, it came down to Bob Gurr's ingenuity. So absolutely. And I'll never forget hearing Bob Gurr speak while I worked at Disney, and he came and discussed some things with us. And one of the things he liked to say was the best part about working for Walt, like the greatest validation, was when he left you alone because you knew
you were doing good.
He appreciated everything you were doing because he only interrupted when he had clarification notes or he needed you to fix something or he didn't trust the route that you were on. But more often than not, he said if you were left alone, you felt like $1,000,000 because you knew you were kind of a rock star in his eyes. And he goes, I was left alone a lot. And he's like, oh, a lot of people were not left alone. He's like, he was not afraid of coming after you if you messed up and did something wrong. But Dick Nunis, a tremendous asset to the Disney legacy, will be missed. Yes. That's for sure. We move on to a story about the Disney Board of Directors. Certainly, the Disney Board of Directors is in a bit of a fight right now, and unfortunately, it's not looking good for the likes of, say, Bob Iger, as one of the biggest shareholders in the Disney company is setting the bullseye on Iger's back as the reason for so many problems right now in the Walt Disney Company. Obviously, Bob Iger returning to the organization last year in an attempt to right the ship, his words, and bring that legacy of Walt Disney's company back after a pretty tumultuous time during Bob Iger's short retirement. He has since returned, obviously, and things, even with cuts, have not necessarily gotten as good as they should be, at least in the eyes of this activist investor. Nelson Peltz is his name. One of the biggest investors in the Walt Disney Company. Not only has he nominated himself to be a board member, now the Walt Disney Organization, he is bringing with him another nominee, a blast from the past, former Disney CFO, former Disney Parks Chief, Jay Rizzullo, as another member of the board he would like to have nominated. Garrett, things are heating up again around the Disney Board of Directors, and now not only does the activist investor Nelson Peltz nominate himself for consideration, he's bringing that former Disney CFO Jay Rizzullo as a nominee as well, which clearly indicates an alliance between the two. Where do you see this going?
Well, heating up is, I think that might even be too subtle. Things are on literal fire. It's like you're on the end of Toad's Wild Ride. Like, it's really warm. This can go a number of ways. Like, the job of the board is to ensure that the company is providing profits for the stakeholders, shareholders, and all that, have money involved in the grand business. And if they aren't delivering, then, things need to change, because then you have a lack of faith, and then it can just go down, a quick spiral. I honestly can see them getting the 2 seats. I could. They control $3 billion worth of stocks, which is a lot. Like, when the stocks are, less than $100, that's a lot of voting power right there. And they could, get their seats and get things going. I like that he has brought on a former Disney leader, because, he knows how Disney works. Jay, he's done it before. He was Parks chairman. He was there before Tom Staggs was, and he knows the Disney brand. And I don't think he would ever want to see Disney, crumble into pieces or be split apart. So I like him bringing it on there, because I think just Nelson alone might be a little dangerous. But I could see them getting the 2 seats easily and wanting to change things up, because the shareholders, they want the company to be overly profitable. I know he has some bad blood with Bob Iger, but I can't see him being like, if we get the spot for firing Bob, like, he's only got 1 year left in his contract, like, might as well let him finish, so you give time to find the next CEO. But it should be, a thing of work for the current board members, because if they're not delivering, they're going to be in hot water. And when a vote comes, some of those people might be out. Disney, of course, will say, we don't want these people in. We like where we are. And that's because, they're in the place of leadership. So we just have to see how it goes. I'm very curious and excited to see what happens, whether it happens or not, because this could be a wake-up call for the board to be like, listen, we got to change some things around, or it's, listen, we can survive the storm, or there's going to be a complete shift. Either way, as a shareholder myself, hey, I only got a few, but I'm curious to see what happens. I really am excited. I wish that Nelson and Jay would put out some ideas of what they want to bring to the company, like some specifics. But I'm sure if they did that, then the board could just take it and then revolutionize it in their own way. So, yeah, this is sort of like a Game of Thrones sort of battle where it's a game of chess. Who's going to make the final move? When's it going to come? Where's the twist and turn? So we will just have to wait and see. But in the meantime, I got my popcorn ready, and it's going to be a show with some fireworks.
You talked about succession planning there. That's one of the reasons why they're so fired up. They feel like there isn't any really going on, and that as many times, we saw this before Bob Iger departed the first time. How many different individuals did they groom, and then the board at the 11th hour was like, not our guy. No, we're not going with you as CEO. And I kept extending Iger. Well, it's happening again. The Trian Company, which Nelson Peltz is affiliated with, put out this statement saying Disney is one of the most iconic companies in the world with unrivaled scale, unparalleled customer loyalty, impeccable intellectual property, and an inevitable commercial flywheel. However, Disney has woefully underperformed its peers and its potential. For shareholders, this subpar performance has destroyed value. Disney stock has underperformed the stocks of Disney self-selected proxy peers and the broader market over every relevant period during the last decade and during the tenure of each non-management director. Furthermore, it has underperformed since Bob Iger was first appointed CEO in 2005, a period during which he served as CEO and executive chairman, directing the company's creative endeavors in this role for all but 11 months. Disney shareholders were once over $200 billion wealthier than they are now. Unfortunately, the board and CEO appear to have no conviction that things will get better. The non-management directors collectively own less than $15 million of Disney stock, and Mr. Iger has sold the vast majority of his ownership stake, built up by primarily through share-based compensation, more than $1 billion of Disney stock, leaving shareholders alone to face the daunting reality of a complex turnaround in a rapidly evolving industry, close quote. Taylor, what are the odds we see former Disney CFO Jay Rizzullo as a contender for CEO? On the flip side of that, though, what will the legacy of Bob Iger look like once this second run as chief executive is over?
I can definitely see Jay running for CEO. I really can. I think he did a lot of good things as CFO for the company. And I think he has a good head on his shoulders. And because he does believe in the original dream of Disney and like the aspects of it. So I think him being a CEO, he actually could bring a lot of what is falling short in the company right now back to life. Now, Bob Iger, I think he came back out of his short retirement, but he definitely bit off more than he could chew. He came back at a really bad time. And so I think he's getting blamed for a lot of things, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens when you're in charge. Also, some of the things that he says, that's not the smartest thing for a CEO to do. But I think that his legacy is going to be, that he brought animation back, that he was able to, bring somewhat of the Disney lifestyle back to life. But I think a lot of people are not going to like him right at the moment. And when he finally does depart ways, I think people are going to go, thank you, goodbye, you did great, but on to the next one. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I definitely am concerned that, if Bob Iger is not questioning his return at this point, he might be just completely arrogant, because no doubt at this point in time, he is dealing with all kinds of drama, and it's not looking good for him as the leader. I think he thought he could come back in and
save the day.
Yeah, I think there was this idealistic view that he was going to be able to show up and fix things potentially overnight, that he himself, he alone could buck the trend that was going on and help to right the ship. And it just hasn't quite happened yet. Mix with that all of the political woes of the company, alienating a good portion of their audience and driving all kinds of people away from the product, especially under Bob Chapek. Iger said, we want to get away from that. We don't want to be that anymore. And yet, if you pay attention, they're still actively involved in a lot of those things, including still fighting in Florida. They just got quiet about it, but it's all happening still. There's still a continuous pushback in the realms that he said, we're getting away from that. It didn't go away. And so I don't know necessarily if he has a true plan other than, this major round of cuts that he did this prior year. Maybe he thought that would help right the ship and that would fix everything.
Yeah.
we're not fixed yet as a company. And I think about Jay Rizzullo. So Jay Rizzullo, for those folks that don't know, was being groomed to be Disney CEO at one point. He was in line for it. That was the plan. And the board passed on him. Enter Tom Staggs, who we all thought was going to be CEO. The board passed on him. Jay Rizzullo coming back. According to the New York Times, Jay Rizzullo is saying, I have no intention of trying to become CEO. I just want to be a board of directors because I know this place. I love this place. He was an Eisner era hire all the way back to the 80s when Eisner first arrived. He was a strategic person initially, and then grew into more chief executive type roles as the company grew from that point forward. But I think it's also important to notate that this guy, this is my own experience with him. As long as I worked with Disney, I witnessed this man, as chairman of Parks and Resorts, visit the parks twice over the course of an 8-year period.
That's what you want in a parks chairman right there.
I mean, he wasn't Disney Parks chief the entire time, but over an 8-year period, he only visited twice when he was Disney Parks chairman, and he had an entourage of photographers with him to document the experience, to show that he was there.
Here.
Yeah. Had a group of yes men that followed him everywhere. Very unlike what we see with, say, a Josh D'Amaro of today, who shows up and runs around on his own and checks in with cast members directly. Jay Rizzullo, you wouldn't catch that guy talking directly to a cast member unless there was a camera there to catch it. That was the experience that I had with him. And it always put a bad taste in my mouth when I thought about the guy, because I thought, he's all show. He clearly wants to be somewhere else. He doesn't really care about these parks. He's showing it in every action that he does within the park walls when he shows up. And it always put that bad taste in my mouth. So now he's back. Now he wants a board seat. You didn't make him CEO before, which I always thought, oh, thank God, because I always preferred Tom Staggs to begin with. I always thought Tom Staggs was going to be a stellar CEO, and then they passed on him too. So the board of directors, they too have had, I think, a lot of problematic contributions to the last 10 years. I think they too have been activists on their own. I think they too have created a lot of the problems that we see by not having succession planning, by passing on what seemed to be very qualified people at different points. And now we're still stuck with the Iger show. And yes, it's better than the Chapek show, but not by much anymore. And I think that is my concern about the Iger legacy, is that I think he thought he'd come back and save the day, and his time, the goodwill that he had built up, is quickly running out because time is running out, and he's not righted the ship yet. So we'll see. He's still got a little bit of time left, but my goodness, things are tense in the Disney organization, and we will see what happens with Nelson Peltz and Jay Rizzullo in this board fight now. You let us know in the comments, where do you think the board of directors are going? How do you think this pans out for the Walt Disney Company? Again, drop it in the comments. Guess what, y'all? It is time for the Disney Trivia Minute.
Woo!
Get your trivia hat on as we embark on some of the best questions from across the Walt Disney Company to test our team and potentially get some right answers. We'll see.
Yeah.
Garrett Hassel, having just graduated the other night with a master's degree, not in trivia, obviously, but I would say that piece of paper makes you smarter, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. The diploma gives you certain abilities, and that can just be lying through your teeth or having a false sense of accomplishment.
Amen to that, brother. Well, we are thrilled to have everybody along with us. Taylor Kowalczyk, Garrett Hassel, off-camera producer Tony, all to talk about Disney trivia today. And it, of course, is Christmas-themed. We start with a historic question about the Osborne Spectacle of Dancing Lights, the Osborne Family Spectacle of Dancing Lights. When did it debut at Disney's Hollywood Studios? Was it 1995, 1994, or 1997? Garrett, we go to you first.
Yay.
All right. So I love Osborne Spectacle of Dancing Lights.
We know.
I remember, when I, was still a character performer working there, I got a shift that was, had to do with the lights and hanging out with Goofy and flipping on the light switch. And I was so pumped. And then they took that away from me because someone rented out the park. I was really bummed. that has nothing to do with this question. I just wanted to share that.
Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing.
Osborne's awesome, but I'm going to say 97. It just stood out to me right away. I don't know if it's because it's the biggest number out there or if it's right, but 97 sounded cool.
Sounded cool. Is that your master's degree professional opinion?
Yeah, we in the master's degree, you try and go for concise, accurate stuff, or sometimes you just wing it. I'm winging it right there.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure. Thank you for that. Taylor, when did the Osborne family spectacle of dancing lights debut at Disney's Hollywood Studios? Was it A, 1995, B, 1994, or C, 1997?
This is going to be a guess for me because I have never seen this show.
You are
And you never
so
will.
less cultured
I know.
because of it.
I'm so sorry. I'll have to go on YouTube and watch it. 3 me load. I'm actually going to go with Garrett because you've seen it. I trust you. That's the master degree that I think I'm going off
Have you not watched the show before?
No, I know you
don't ever go
usually
with the-
lose, but I'm hoping for you this time. So I think I'm going to go with C.
Tony gasped when she said, I'm going to go with Garrett. He gasped.
I even know not to go with my own answer.
Well, all right, it's locked in. In 1997
Fingers
for
crossed.
you. And Tony in the
Yeah,
control
we're in this
room.
boat together.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Solidarity. Tony in the control room. When did the Osborne family spectacle of dancing lights debut at Hollywood Studios? 95, 94, 97.
Well, Ozzy was
Not Osborne. Not
Oh,
Ozzy
sorry.
Osborne.
This is
Yeah.
wrong Ozzy. This is not Ozzy Osbourne. This is a family in Arkansas.
Oh.
right. Oh, Arkansas. Okay. Well, then I'm gonna say 95, just because I'm gonna go somewhere different.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think this is like Ozzy Osbourne, and it's not Ozzy Osbourne.
No. The Osborne family outside of England.
No.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's a very special story. Be sure to look it up, the Osborne family spectacle of dancing lights, and exactly what that history is attached to Disney and how Disney sort of brought it to life in a much grander sense. It's a very sweet story and definitely worth the research. But as for the trivia question, when did the Osborne family spectacle of dancing lights debut at Hollywood Studios? 95, 94, 97. We have two 97s, we have one 95, and I will tell you that the answer is 1995. Tony's correct.
Nice job, Tony.
Yay! I'm a wiener.
Back to school, Garrett.
Good job, Tony. I'm sure it feels great, man. I don't know what that's like. I think the last time I went was summer, like in July.
Let Garrett go first.
Yeah, we're proud of you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Congratulations to Tony. Yeah, no, that's for sure. Next up on the Disney Trivia Minute, how many twinkling LED lights make up Sleeping Beauty's Winter Castle? Is it A, 50,000, B, 33,000, or C, 25,000 twinkling LED lights? Garrett, what are we going with?
See, I think this is a trick question because I think they use fluorescent lighting. I don't even think they use LED. 25 sounded great. 50 sounds like a lot, but 33, could be Club 33, the special, place people want. And, Disney's all about, keeping hidden messages, and they're all the subliminal messaging. So I'm going with 33 grand right there.
All right.
Put it all on black. Let's spin it.
Attaboy. Thank you for that. Locked in. Taylor, how many twinkling LED lights make up Sleeping Beauty's Winter Castle? 50,000, 33,000, 25,000.
I was going to say 33, but since I
Yeah,
followed
yeah.
Garrett last time, I think
now you're gonna lose because I'm gonna be so right and I'm gonna laugh in your face.
Yeah, and that's probably exactly what I have the worst luck. So I'm gonna go with A. For some reason, I'm thinking 50. I think Disney went big because why not? It's the original.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Let's do it.
50,000
Half
LED
the
lights.
size of Cinderella.
Yeah, bring that back.
Yeah.
Please. My goodness. Well, Tony in the control room. How many twinkling LED lights make up Sleeping Beauty's Winter Castle? 50,000, 33,000, 25,000. What do you got?
So I'm gonna go a little conspiracy theory here.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're all about that.
Yeah.
Truth be told, he is
Truth
all
be
about that.
told, I am all about it. And normally I wouldn't go with Garrett.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Garrett, I'm
At
sorry.
least people are figuring out the trend.
He said normally.
But
Awareness is the key.
Right.
33 is very Yeah. So I'm going to go 33.
Okay. All right. So 33,000 is what he's going with. 33,000 what Garrett is going with. Taylor going with 50,000. The answer to how many twinkling LED lights Sleeping Beauty's Winter Castle has is...
Drum roll. I'm gonna do it.
We have a drum roll? Thank you for that. You're all wrong. 25,000.
Oh, really?
Nice try.
We tried.
I was closest. I was only off by 8,000. That's not that much.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 50 grand, like 50. That's a ton. Like,
Whoa.
really bad.
Whoa.
If this
Like,
were the Price is Right, maybe you would have won.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to the winner's circle. I want the 2 camcorders and the used Prius.
And the used
Use free.
pretty sure they don't give away used cars on that show. But wouldn't that be something?
Time to change with Drew.
That's true. Yeah. Inflation being what it is. That's for sure. Well, we thank you for participating, Garrett. Like I said, back to school, maybe a doctorate next time, and we'll see where that gets you. But at any rate, you stick around. There's plenty more Kingdom Report Live for you next.
You know, Walt Disney, he is seen as sort of this mythical creature nowadays, this magical man that could do no wrong, and yet he spent most of his life steeped in failure. From heartache to betrayal to death and even a breakdown of his own. It's often said that artists are tortured souls, and I think it's safe to say that Walt Disney was a tortured soul by his own standards most of his life. Walt Disney had to do some of the hardest things any person can do, and that is convince others of unimaginable dreams he had solely in his head. And oftentimes he had to stand alone in his own visions to make them happen. He was surrounded by family, he was surrounded by fawning fans in the public wherever he went, and yet so often he had to stand alone in his decisions and his choices. Only he understood what it was he was trying to do. He's more like you and me than I think a lot of us assume. Stand Alone, The Walt Disney Way. 10 Lessons for Harnessing Your Own Magic. By me, Wade Heath. A new book coming soon. Be inspired by Walt Disney all over again.
Time for the Disney List, listing some of the best from across the Walt Disney Company today, focused on a particular holiday-themed list, our Disney Parks Christmas wish list to be exact. And we have 2 very special people here as part of our Disney family. Taylor Kowalczyk, Garrett Hassel, hanging out with us to bring their 3 things they would like to see added, removed, created, you name it, for any Disney park going into 2024. We begin with Taylor Kowalczyk. What do you got for us?
Okay.
After dark events?
Yes, those ones.
You said Dark Knight, and
did I say Dark Knight?
all I'm thinking of is Batman, and I'm like, what are we talking about? All
I'm
that?
sorry.
Christian
Disneyland
Bale
after
just
dark.
in a gruff voice.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm
sorry.
Batman.
I kind of
Yeah.
figured that's what you meant, but
That's
I
what
wanted to
was
clarify.
talking-
Yeah.
I wrote it down too. My head just went another way. But yeah, I'm just kind of like, I feel like they could be a little more original with certain events that happen after nights. I mean, they're so expensive. You're paying $139
yeah.
for 4 hours. That's ridiculous. So I kind of want them to do add more things that you could do after dark. Maybe just make it more original. I don't know. Do something else. They used to have all those awesome parties back in the 90s, and that they would do after for holiday parties and stuff. Why don't you have that open for guests, and do something like that. I don't know. That's 1. 2 is meet and greets for characters. I think that they missed the mark this last year with the Disney 100. I know that, for certain movies that were made, if they came out in February, why didn't you have, certain characters when that movie came out, during that time that you could meet that you never get to meet,
Right.
I think that they could bring out some awesome characters. Because, when I went to Oogie Boogie Bash, I got to meet Prince John from Robin Hood. And I'm like, oh my God. Like,
that's what's up.
yeah, that's so cool. So it's like, why can't we do that during the actual day?
Yeah.
You know, during the time that you're visiting Disney.
Bring more rare characters.
Yes,
People
bring
go
them back.
crazy.
They
well,
really do.
You know, and it makes me think about what Hollywood Studios is doing with Jollywood Nights. You know, as sort of an emergency break glass situation for what they had happening. Right, Jollywood Nights failed miserably on night one because they just hadn't thought things through operationally. Unfortunately, it was a brand new party, so I mean, you know, and they were refunding people. So good on Disney for admitting they messed up. But you fast forward, and the next night that they had, they brought out all kinds of unique, rare characters specific to like holiday themed attire. Like they threw that on them. And they had all these new options for people to go and visit these characters. So operationally, it pulled people away from a lot of the congested areas because now you had these new opportunities, these new things to do. And so I like that they recognize the draw of those unique, rare characters when they really need them. You're right. I wish we would see them more often.
Right,
Yeah.
just more often. You know, even when Pete came out into Toontown, everybody
they went
flocked to go
nuts.
see Pete.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think we waited an hour just to wait for him to come out. And I was like, oh my gosh. So if they just continue to do that, I think that would be amazing.
Peg Leg Pete. Yes. Bring him on.
I want the horned king from the Black Cauldron.
Yes.
He's nothing but he looks scary. He's a lovable guy.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I hear
He's
he
misunderstood.
makes lovely gingerbread cookies.
That's for sure.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Seasonal reference. Love it.
Yeah. But I like your idea, Taylor.
Yeah.
More characters.
More
the
characters.
better. More Gaston.
Oh,
Different
that'd be
costume.
so great. Yeah, just bring him out.
Garrett would be in heaven,
I would be.
learning at the hands of the master.
Yeah. But lastly, I would say more annual pass events. I think they have like annual pass things that do happen. This is at Disneyland. I don't, unfortunately, have one at Orlando yet, but one day I will. But they only do like certain things, you know, here and there, where they'll give out like a gift, you know, if you're over in Hollywood Studios or, you know, something like that. So I think that if they were able to do more events for annual pass holders, more appreciation things, you know, I think that'd be great. Because, yeah, when we go, sometimes we'll get like a postcard, you know, from the actual gallery. And it's like, let's do some other things. Like,
Or a magnet.
Yeah, you know, like let's have like a hot cocoa thingy. I don't know. Or like maybe like when they give out the candy canes, you know, and have like only annual pass holders day or something, you know, I don't know. Something like that. But more for the annual pass holders.
You know, I am surprised too. It feels like this past year, events for annual pass holders really fell off.
Yeah.
For as big as the Magic Key demographic is at Disneyland, it's surprising because they used to do that intentionally on the operational side to absorb more of those crowds for special events so that they didn't bother the normal park day, you know, and
Balance
impact
it out.
those crowds. So used to do that a lot more. I'm surprised. You're right that we don't see more of that, especially, you know, Disney World, I think has, you know, even less events, Garrett, often for those annual pass holders.
Yeah, the only thing I think annual pass holders get are, you know, previews to attractions and shows, or, you know, a special magnet, or during Food and Wine, they'll be like, oh, we have a special cutting board and it has, you know, Mickey on there and all that. But yeah, there's really not much. Disneyland definitely has a more, I'd say, dedicated annual pass holder base. I think they need like a 24-hour event, or even just some like AP late night where you bust out some cool characters, lights, and all that stuff. But yeah, Disney World, they don't really do anything for annual pass holders other than the magnet and like previews. But even then, it's like, oh, if you're DVC too, or if you just enter at this time, you can get on too. It doesn't really matter. And pass holders, they don't spend as much money as everyone else, which is true. I remember, you know, just pop in for a show, walk out, didn't buy anything.
Hey, you're the problem, right?
Well, didn't they termed us as undesirables or something a while back?
Unfavorable mix.
Yep.
Is how they refer to us.
I love the title. I relish it.
That's you. Our unfavorable mix, Garrett Hassel. There he is, everybody. In our live chat during this broadcast for the Disney Parks Christmas wish list, Richard is saying that he thinks that they should bring the People Mover back to Disneyland and move the rocket rods back on top of Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland needs it.
I agree, Richard.
No kidding. That would be nice. That is a Disney Parks Christmas wish list for sure. Bob Smith saying, update the Jungle Cruise. All right. Yeah, maybe add another route, another waterway to the Jungle Cruise. That would be nice. Well, Garrett, you, sir, are standing by with your 3 Disney Parks Christmas
excited.
wish list items. What do you got for us?
Just bulldoze. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Don't do that. Don't, no. So mine are going to be all directed at Walt Disney World. I go there more often, even though Disneyland is where I fell in love with parks. Disney World is where I visit more often. So can we please get a nighttime parade at Magic Kingdom that is not the Main Street Electrical Parade and not one that's already been done?
Here, here.
I worked the Main Street Electrical Parade. It's a lovely thing. It needs to be set on fire and thrown away at a museum because, you know, people can cherish it. But yeah, that thing's all be up. People are like, bring back Main Street. I'm like, no, you don't know how touchy those are. And also all those bulbs, those aren't LED. Those are just fluorescent lighting that they don't even make anymore. So I want a nighttime parade for Magic Kingdom. I think it would be great. You know, add some of the new characters. You don't need to add Star Wars or you know, Marvel to that. Well, they legally can't add Marvel, but they should, you know, add Coco in there, or, you know, Encanto at night. Could you imagine all the colors and brightness? That'd be beautiful. Let's do that. Or just a Gaston only parade.
It would be Un Poco Loco, you could say.
Ooh.
Un poco loco. I'm going to be throwing tortillas at them. Pecos Bill. We're going down.
Tamales for all.
Absolutely. Extra salsa verde.
Yes.
Ooh, yum.
So yeah, a nighttime parade.
A new nighttime parade. I couldn't agree with that more. They desperately need it. And has anybody heard from Paint the Night? Anybody heard from it?
No.
Is it dead? Anybody
like,
heard from it?
Yeah.
Be nice to see it somewhere domestically.
It was supposed to be on the show today, but the call dropped right before. I don't know.
That's unfortunate. Well, I mean, at least Michael Eisner showed up. We always appreciate it when he can stop by.
Yeah, he's the legend.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up, Michael?
Michael,
Yes,
good to have you with us. Michael, talk to Bob. See if you can get a new night parade. That would be great.
I don't think you can get that done in a year, man. That takes a little bit more time.
We'll see.
But the second thing I'm going for, like, I want the Osborne lights back. I know it's the holidays now. I want the Osborne lights back because people like Taylor need to experience them. They need to see what the magic's like. And
YouTube.
I do like Galaxy's Edge. I know Tyler's a bit more opinionated about it, but I think it's a great concept. I think that they just need to change around, and I'm not saying, you know, tear it down, just put back up, you know, Streets of America, because, you know, nothing was being used. But having something like the Osborne Spectacle of Dancing Lights, whether that's on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood Studios, or maybe make it just over the entire entrance area, you know, around, make Gertie all lit up.
Oh yeah, light up that dinosaur.
Yeah, you could do you know, the main courtyard, you can do the theater, you can it'd be a new version of it, of course, but something like that really has this sort of element which pulls crowds away from attractions, lets them enjoy the environment and the experience, and have some amazing, you know, music and good times. Spectacle of Dancing Lights, I miss it so much. I still have videos on my phone of it, and I cherish them so much.
Never lose your phone.
Never lose my phone. I download that. I got it on VHS and on a you know, a little floppy disk too. Just in case.
Wow, just in case.
Yeah.
Backup.
And the third thing I would like at the Disney parks. Can we like make Tomorrowland good or something? Like, can we pick a theme? I could, you know, I could wish for a million things, but Tomorrowland is always in a state of becoming because it's tomorrow. You never know where it is, but it's just got this look of, it's got the 90s, you know, sharp metal jagged things, but then, you know, you enter Tomorrowland at Magic Kingdom and it's all circular, kind of, you know, 60s-esque. I just need them to pick one theme and figure out what's going on with it, because Tokyo Disney just released what they're going to be doing to their Space Mountain and that whole area. And it looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. You know, that's why Tokyo Disneyland, they don't fail.
Yep.
We need a good Tomorrowland. You know, haven't matched Tron. I don't know, but you've got like 18 different directions, and if along the way somehow the Speedway gets exploded and is never brought back ever again, oops.
Bummer.
Yeah, but I need a Tomorrowland, and Cosmic Rays needs to stay there, and Sun Eclipse, he's the man. He needs to stay there too. he's got that real estate locked down.
He really does. Yeah, at Disneyland, that Tomorrowland has been in such a state of lame for so long.
It's
and
lost.
I still think it's better than Disney World's though.
I don't know about that. I feel like there's more of a cohesive theme at Disney World, at least, and I do love my Monsters Laugh floor. But I'll tell you that a couple years ago, Disneyland announced a whole new entry to our Tomorrowland at Disneyland as coming soon, and then they put up a picture of it at the front of Tomorrowland, a big image so that everybody could see it. It's been sitting there for years.
It's still there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's even
recently, I mean, we're talking like within the last month, the sun had like destroyed this image on this plywood wall and completely baked it, basically, to the point that it was being mocked on social media.
Yep.
As this shows you how serious they're taking the future of Tomorrowland. They can't even keep the concept art up to date and refreshed. Like, it's being destroyed. Like, what does this look like? It's very symbolic. And fortunately, within a couple of days, I think the social media attention got Disney's attention, and they're like, oh, yeah, we should update that image.
Yeah.
So a new image got put in its place. It's the same image. It's just new and not completely baked into the plywood now. But, yeah, there's supposed to be a new entry portal to Tomorrowland coming.
Don't know.
No word on that. Just
It's coming tomorrow.
yeah, one day.
Tomorrow.
One day.
Tomorrow.
One day.
Yeah, just Tomorrowland. Figure out what you're doing on both coasts. The only one that seems to be working, Tokyo, and they're not even owned by us.
That's
They're owned
why.
by Disney.
Yep.
Well, as they would say on the carousel of progress, that's progress. That's what we need.
It's
That's
a
for
great,
sure.
big, beautiful.
Beautiful tomorrow. It would be great to see Tomorrowland enhanced in any way. It really is a sad land, and both coasts definitely need that. Yeah, it's fun to put a new attraction like Tron into the Magic Kingdom into Tomorrowland, but yeah, let's have that cohesive theme, please. That would be
Please.
nice. Absolutely. Well, thank you both for sharing your Disney Parks Christmas wish lists. We want to hear from you. What is it? A new restaurant, a new attraction, a new land, a new park? What is on your Disney Parks Christmas wish list this year? You let us know in the comments. All right, my friends, we hope you have a holly jolly week as we march on into Christmas weekend next weekend. As a reminder, we won't be with you next weekend live. There will be a marathon of Disney trivia. Disney Trivia Mania just for you. Like I said at the top of the show, count how many times Garrett loses over the course of 2.5 hours.
Not how many times I win. Count how. Actually, yeah. If you count how many times I lose, you'll probably be higher.
It'll probably be. That's, yeah. No. But yes, count how many times he loses. Count how many times Katrina accidentally gets it right.
Oh.
More often than not, she takes a shot in the dark. She usually gets it. Yeah, she does okay after explaining things for 30 minutes. So you check out next week 2.5 hours of Disney trivia segments that you love the most. So we're bringing that to you. It's a bit of a Christmas gift from us to you. We hope you have a very safe holiday season. We will be back with you live on December the 30th for a Disney News Talk Live. Can't wait to bring that to you. And remember, it's the legacy of Walt Disney only living on because of people like Taylor, like Garrett, like Tony, like me,
Like you.
like all of us. We're so grateful to have had you with us this year. So grateful to have had you with us this holiday season. And we will see you 1 week from next Saturday. Merry Christmas to you all, and we'll talk to you soon.